Okay, so let's start today's class. So as in the previous class, we have discussed about the Hello World program, comment, and these variables and data types. So the remaining topic was operators. So we will start operators from today. So basically in Java, there are 5 types of operators. So I will write each of one by one. So first one is arithmetic operator. Arithmetic operators, there are some symbols. So basically operators in Java are basically these are the symbols, right? They are the symbols that perform some logical operations. Okay, so there are basically 5 operators in Java. So first one is arithmetic operators. In that you will see plus, minus, division. That is not the division one. Let me erase it. Right, the symbol of division is just simply this, and you have multiplication, and another one is your modulo means the remainder you try to find. So these are the arithmetic operators. And the second one is assignment operator. Assignment operator is something you want to assign something to a variable or to some data types that you have. So we have equals, we have plus equals, we have minus equals, and we have like similar the arithmetic operators. We apply the equal sign with that. So we have asterisk operator. So if I take example, if you write a equals to uh, this is something wrong. So if I take example of this, assignment operator. So if you write a asterisk equals v, that means a is equals to a asterisk v, right? This is, the meaning. This is the meaning of this syntax. So like this, you can use these assignment operators. So third one is relational operators. So here relational operators are as and how to write and it's difficult. This is the and you write or, and there is a not logical operator. So this and operator and or operator and not operator are known as relational operator, right? We will make use of these operators in our coming videos. So the fourth one is our logical operators. Logical operators. Sorry guys, these are not the relational operators. Basically, these are the logical operators. Just a second. Uh, just a second. I have to erase it. So we have relational and logical operators, both the operators. So relational logical operators are that I told you earlier, right? This is these 3 operators are known as logical operators. See, this is known as and, this is or, and this is known as logical not operator. That is logical complements operator. So this basically does the negation. Means if there is a 0, then it will make it 1. If there is 1, then it make it 0. So what are the relational operators are there? So relational operators, they're greater than, less than, right? Less than equals to, and greater than equals to, and double equals. These are the relational operators that relates something between two expression or two data types, two variables, right? So these are the relational operators. So fifth one is the your unary operators. So unary operators are plus. If you write plus with some value like literals, so these type of operators known as unary operators. So basically plus sign is not required for any literals, but we have minus sign. If you write -6, that means this represent that the my number is negative number. And we have plus unary operator that will use for the increment, and we have minus minus unary operator that was used for the decrement, and one another unary operator. This is also known as the unary operator, that will perform the same logic as it performs in the logical operation. Okay, so these are the five types of operators in Java being used currently. So we will now move to the Java flow controls. So we have completed these operators. So we'll see the example of these operators in later classes while we do the practical. But for now, just remember that these type of operators are there in Java, and we will move to the input output in Java. What are the basic input and output in Java? Means how you take the input from user and how you print that input to the console or to the user. So basically, we have a scanner class. We have a scanner class in Java that allow us to take the input from the user. So we'll create an object of this scanner class, new scanner. So this is the way to create the object in Java. I haven't told it earlier. So this is the syntax. This is the class name, and this is your object, and this is the constructor you are calling. So basically, the scanner is inbuilt class in Java. You have to use this scanner class to take the input. So based on the data types that you want input from user, right? So based on that, there are some methods inside this scanner class. You have to use that method to take that particular input. Means suppose if you want to take int input, right? Int is a data type. If you want to take input as an integer, then you have to write sc dot next int. This is the method that is accepting the integer input from the user. Similarly, if you want to uh, long value, long data type value, then you have to use sc. What is sc? Sc is the object of scanner class. So you will use next dot long, next long, right? Sc dot next long. So similarly, for float, you use next float. For double, you use next double. For float, you use next float. But for the string, if you want to take the input as a string, then you have to use sc dot next only. Okay, sc dot next only. So this will allow you to enter the string input. This is known as scanner class is known as input basic input method, or you can say the class. So here I have written system dot in. That means it allows the input from the keyboard, means standard input devices, right? From mouse and from keyboard. So this system dot in allows user to enter the input from the keyboard and your standard input devices. So this is basically the input thing that you can use in your programming language if you want some input from user, right? And how do you do output in the Java? So simple thing is system dot out, that I have earlier told you, right? System dot out dot println, right? So it will print everything that you write in the parenthesis in a new line, right? In a new line. If you want the things in single line, then you just need to here dot print only. So if you write only print, you do not write ln, then it will print everything in a single line, whatever you write inside the parenthesis, right? And one more thing, if you want to print something formatted, like in C language and in C++, we have printf, right? So similarly, you have to write down these things, system.out dot, here you will write printf, and here you will provide your formatters that will format and will print to the user, will print in to your output device. So these are the things that you have to know about the input and output in the Java. So there are multiple options to take the input from user, but this is the basic thing that I was discussed right in the input devices. So scanner is the basic thing. Basically, it use the class scanner class. This scanner class is inside the Java dot util dot scanner, right? This is inside the util package. So we'll discuss what is this package means. So basically, just remember it that the scanner class is inside java.util.scanner. Okay, so let's move to the flow control. So flow control means some conditional statements that we use in Java. So first thing is if and else. So first flow control statement is if and else. So basically in Java, if you want to execute any code of any block of code with some conditions, then you have to write if. Then here you can write your expression, right? Expression. If that expression will get true, then that block of code will get executed. Otherwise, this block of code will get skipped by the compiler. Then what happened? If you want to execute something, right? If this if condition doesn't true, then you want something else you want to execute, then you can write this else condition here. So after this if condition will skip, the compiler will execute this else condition. So see here, only one block will get executed at a time. Means if your if block will get executed, means this expression, if this expression is true, then only if block will get executed. That time the else block will not be get executed. So if this if block will get skipped, then only else block will be executed. This is the condition, right? But here you can write nested if else also. So if you write if here, right, you can write if else. So it will check the condition here, and again you can write if else. So as many times you want, you can write this if else. And in the end, that else is not mandatory. You can skip this else part to write. That is not mandatory. If you want something that will execute in or in if any condition doesn't true, then that else condition will definitely execute. So this is the first flow control. Basically here you are controlling the compiler flow, that how you need to execute the code. So this is the first one. And the second one is, so alternative of this if and else. So as you can see, if and else are taking so much lines, right, to execute. So alternative of this is the ternary operator. So there are ternary operators also. Here I am writing operators, so don't be confused that it's a operator. It comes under operators, but it's a conditional operators, right? Here you can how you can use. So here you will have expression one. So question mark. If it gets true, then this exp2 will get executed. Otherwise exp3 will get executed. So in the single line, you can, put your if else. So this is working as if, this is working as else. So if this condition is get true, then this will get execute. Otherwise, this will get execute. You can write, nested ternary operators also. Will make use of these operators in our coming video. So you will see it. Okay. So the next thing is your Java flow control is for loop. So basically we will look for the for loop. The for loop is used if you want to execute your some block of code multiple times, right? Suppose you have a block of code and you want this block of code to execute 5 time or 6 time, then you have to use this for loop. So the general structure of this for loop, the syntax of this for loop, you have to write for, then the initial condition, the initial condition, and then you have to write the decision, means the comparison condition. So it is decision, basically you can call it decision expression, and here you will write the increment and decrement uh, expression, right? So what, how it gets executed? So this will create a block of code. So here you will initialize something, right? And here will be the condition to check whether the condition is true. If condition will be true, then only this block will get executed. Once the block will get executed, then that increment operator will increment that initial value, and will again it will check that expression, the decision of expression. If that will get true, then again it will get executed. So how many times your decision expression will, get true, your block will get executed. So based on your logic, this block of code will execute. Okay, this is the simple logic of the for loop. Here we have some more loops also, that are the while loop, and we have the do while loop also. So what is the syntax? Basically I'm just telling you the syntax here. We'll make use of these, loops in our programming, in our practicals. So how this while loop will work? So if you have something that you don't know, right, that how many iterations I have to execute this block of code, then you have to use that while operator. So in the for loop, right, you have the decision expression, that that how many times I need to execute this block. So you have to use this for loop. But in case if you don't know that how many times we need to execute this block of code, then you must use while. Inside the while, you will put the condition, and then you will create a block. So this block will get executed until this condition will gets false. So once this condition will gets false, then this block will get skipped by the compiler. Okay, so here you don't know how many times this block of code will get executed, because you don't know when your condition will get false, right? So this type of scenario you have to use while loop. And what is doing here, the do while loop? So in the do while loop, you create do, and you create a block of code, then you write while here, and you write the condition here. So this do while loop will execute once, then it will check the condition. Here in the while loop, it was checking the condition first, then executing the block of code. But in do while loop, you will, the code block of code will execute once, then it will check for the condition. If condition gets true, then it will again execute this block of code, and then it will check for the condition again, right? If the condition will true again, then it will execute it again. So this is the basic thing regarding the loops. So we have the enhanced for loop also, but we will, look that enhanced for loop in our coming videos, because, you know, uh, because that enhanced for loop are getting used in the arrays and in the collection, that we haven't learned it. So we will, learn the enhanced for loop, that is known as for each loop. We'll learn it later. So what you can observe from this for loop and while loop, right? Here here you have the initial value, a variable. So you can count it, how many time this block of code executed, right? And here also you have conditions, so you can, count the iteration. So in the do while loop also you can count the iteration. But suppose you want to, you know uh, you want to break it for some conditions. You might have some conditions in that you don't want to execute that for loop further, right? So we have two keywords. One is break, and another one is continue. So these two keywords are being used in the for loops to break the for loop and to the continue to the for loop. What does it mean, right? Break the for loop. So basically you can use nested for loop also. Suppose you have, two for loops in a single body, right? You have two for loop. If there is some condition, right? Suppose there is some condition, if, right, initial condition, right, is equals to some value, right, 5. Then you want to, break it. You want to break it. So if you write here the break, then it will break the nearest for loop. You can see here the two for loops are there. So break will basically break this nearest for loop, and will, the compiler will move to here and will execute the code that are inside your first loop. This is the break is doing. And what continue will do, continue will, if you write here, instead of writing this break, if you write here continue, right? If you write here continue, then again your first loop will be skipped at that iteration. Whatever you write before this continue will not be executed. After continue, it will move to the first for loop for the further execution. If the condition of first for loop will gets true, then it will execute the second loop again, right? But if this break and continue condition will get true, then it will, break or, continue. So it will break actually. And in the continue case, sorry for the mistake, right? In the continue case, what it does, it will, continue the next iteration. It will not execute code below of this, but it will not break the for loop, right? The break keyword will break the key for loop, but the continue will not break the for loop. It will continue for the next iteration. So this is the condition. We'll make use of this in our programming, so it will be clear, right? So same keyword, the break and continue, you can use in the while and in the do while loop also, right? So these are the things. So one thing is there that I want to tell you, that is the switch statement. Switch case, basically it's known as. So in the switch case, you have multiple cases, right? You have multiple cases. Case 1, right? Case 2 and case 3, right? Similar, you can write multiple cases. So suppose you want to execute only one case at a time, only one block of code. Suppose it's similar to the if else. So here you will pass some expression, right? Some expression. This expression will match with the case. So if any case match, right? Any case match with this expression, then that block of code will get executed. Suppose no case match with this expression, then you have a default case also. So you can, write your code here for the default scenarios. If nothing match with the expression, then your default block of code will get executed. So these are the things that I wanted to discuss in the flow control. So we'll move to the practical, we'll look the for loop, and we'll, look the some conditional statement, if else and ternary operators also. So let's, I just share my computer screen so that you can see the things here. So let me stop the sharing first. So, okay. So what we have discussed was that was theory part, and we now I will, move to the practical part. So first thing, I will move to the flow control, uh, and we'll look for the input from the user. So first, what we need to do for the input, we have to, create the scanner class object sc is equals to new scanner, and we have to pass the system dot in here. Okay. So here, okay, something mistake here. So this sc, suppose we want to, accept the integer value. So what we will write? We will simply write system dot out dot print ln. So here, enter your age, right? So user will enter, then will, take the input into the enter int age is equals to sc dot next int. As I told you, right, we have the next int method inside the sc. So this will, take the input as integer input from the user. So let's use of the flow control. So here, if age is greater than 20, right, then print something, system dot out dot println. So here is not allowed, right? Not allowed. And here I can write if else. I'm writing this nested if else. If age is, less than 20, right? Okay. This is, you have to write else if, right? As I told you, else if age is, less than 20, then you just write down this allowed. So not allowed, allowed, right? So once I run this program, right, I have used two things here, right? The scanner, the input things, and output also, and the if else conditions also. So based on the input, user input, this if and else condition will get executed. So let's run it. So once I run it, you can see here, enter your age. It's asking for entering your age. Let's enter at 31 and just enter it. So 31 not allowed, right? Because 31 is greater than 20. So it's printing the, it's executing this block of code that 31 is not allowed. Okay. Let's run it again. So here now I enter 10, then 10 allowed, right? It's asking, it's, executing this block of code. So this is the basically thing for the if and else loop, right? Here, if I use ternary operator instead of this lot of code, so what, how we can write here? So you can see, right, is as greater than 20, then question mark. Here you can route system dot out dot print ln, right, allowed, and in else condition, system dot out dot print ln, here not allowed. Okay, just I'm just, showing you guys the way you can use the for loop. So these things should be in double quotes. So here, so this is the ternary operator that, what is this saying? The mismatch cannot convert from int to
if
boolean.
if if
No, we don't need if, right? Because it's a ternary operator. I have to put it inside the bracket. The left hand, okay. The ternary operator tells the same thing, right? Okay, do we need to?
You need to put it inside system.out.
No, no. If I
अच्छा,
take it
एक
is,
सेकंड, string arrange, string array.
if I take it as it, right, a string, then allowed, then it should work actually, right? Yeah, it will work. It simply, returns something. So if this condition will get true, then it will return allowed, and otherwise it will return this allowed. So we have to, print it. System dot out dot print ln here str, simply we have to, you know, str print. Then once I save it and will run it, then it will work. Enter age. If I enter age 40, then it will allowed, right? If I run it again and enter is 5 or 2, then it will print not allowed. Means that if and else condition, we can, make it very simple by writing in single line. So this is the thing for, for if and else. We'll move to the for loop. So here, let me remove these things. We don't need these scanner things. So suppose I want to print a number from 1 to 10. So what I will do, I will just simply write down the initial condition. Suppose we have int variable I is equals to 0. Suppose we want to print it 1 to 10. So I should be, less than 11, because it should go till 10, and then I plus plus, that's this is the increment operator, right? So this will increment, and here what will I write? I will write system dot out dot println, and here I will write down I. So it will print I. So once I run it, once I save it and run it, you will see 1 to 10 values will get printed into the console, right? By writing this simple 2 line of code, you can, write. So if you increase this value, suppose if you increase this 100 times, so it will print till 99, 1 to 99. You can see 1 to 99. So this is the condition, right? So here the break statement I have told you, right? So you can use break if I equals 11, right? Then what you want? You just simply want to break it. So write down break. So now even the for loop is written to execute 100 times, but once your I will become 11, then it break statement will get executed, and the numbers that will, print on the console will 1 to 11, 1 to 10. So let's save it and run it. Okay, you can see here 1 to 11 is getting printed because, we are doing the system dot out before this break. So 11 is also getting printed. So see the break statement, what break is doing? Break is just breaking your for loop. And what if I do here continue, right? Continue. So what is do?
NUE.
Okay, continue, correct? So it will execute it 100 times. So here, if I write here something to understand this this continue system dot out dot println, right? So here, if I write number and then plus I, right? So for 11, it is doing continue. So after continue, this statement should not be executed, right? It should continue the loop after this line. So let's execute and see what is the result. Number 93, number 90, I have to reach to the 11. So here, what you can see, right? Number 10, then number 12, right? 10, 11, 12. Then number 12, number 11 is skipped because we have used the continue. So after continue, the statement written after continue will not get executed for that current statement, for that current iteration. Okay, so this is the make of use of, the continue and the break. So we'll move to the while loop and do while loop. So for while loop, suppose we have a int is equals to, not the age is not relevant. So int num is equals to 5 and int I is equals to 0, right? Two variables we have, that two or integer type. Then we'll write the while here. Inside we'll write the condition if I is less than equals to num, less than or equals, we can write both the things, num, then system dot out. You can write whatever logic you want, but I'm just writing here println. So here num is equals to, I can put I here. I have to append it to plus I, and again here inside it I have to increment this I. So I plus plus. So every time this will this I will get incremented. So till now, till the I is less than this num, means this 5, the while loop body will get executed. So let's see how many times it gets executed. Let me save it and just run it, right? Num 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, right? Because we have used equal sign also. So till I is not equals to 5, and I mean not equals to 6, that means it's less than and equal to num, then the body of this while loop will get executed. Same thing we can achieve from do while loop. So do, I will write do and then body, write down the same thing here, right? I will copy paste it and will write down the condition here, right? While the same condition I is less than equal to num, right? And we'll save it, and we have to remove it from here because it will increment the I, and then our do while will not execute. So let's save it and we'll run it. Okay, there's a semicolon mistake. So let's save it and run it. So you can see here, right? 0 to 5 number is getting printed even if we use the do while loop. So these are the loops, and we have the switch case also, right? Switch case also. So let's see. So what we write here, we'll write switch. So these are the simple things, basic things, but it is doing switch, and we'll write here the expression num. So basically num is 5, right? So num is 5. So we'll write case, what is doing, case 1, and we'll you know let me just scroll it down. Here we can write out system dot out dot println, right? Println here I can write case 1. Okay, similarly, so here we need to do the break here also. We'll let you know why we need break here, and we'll see a condition also when we do not do the break, then what will happen. So simply what I'll do, I will copy it and will paste it here. We'll paste it. Okay, it's not getting copied. Just a second. Break, and I have to copy it first, and we'll have to, paste it for the second. Okay, for the third, right? For the fourth. Just I write the four conditions. So here I will write 2, and here also I will write 2, and here I will write 4, and here I will write 4, and here I will write 5, and it will be the 5 one, right? So these are the conditions that I have, cases I have written here. So basically, num is 5, right? So we'll remove it because it will increment the I. So it is not incrementing the num, so that will not cause a problem. So here you can see the case 5 should get executed because the num is equals to 5. So let's see what output comes. Okay, case 5, right? Case 5 is executed. So what I was telling, we have to use this break statement for every cases. Let's see what happened if we do not use. So write down the 5 here and 6 here, and remove the break statement after this. So what will happen? See, here I have the break statement at first case, but I know that our case 5 will get executed. So once a case will get executed, if you do not put the break, right, then all the below cases will get also executed in this switch case. So let's see what is the output for this case. So once I click, you can see case 2 means the 5 will, case 5 is case 2, and then case 4 and case 5. So the break statement is necessarily to use, means to break that block of code. So here the case 4 and this case 6 is getting executed unnecessarily. So once you use the break statement here, that case will not be get executed. So these are the things that we covered in the theory part as well as in the practical parts. Okay. So from the next video, we will, cover some other topics from basics of Java. So for this video, this is the thing that I wanted to discuss, guys. So thank you, and we'll meet in the next video.